Lakshadweep, an archipelago of 36 coral islands nestled in the Arabian Sea, offers a tropical haven for travelers seeking pristine beaches, vibrant marine life, and rich cultural experiences. It has garnered a lot of attention globally since the Prime Minister's visit on the 2nd of January and the 3rd of January to inaugurate the Kochi Lakshadweep Island submarine optical fiber connection and dedicated many developmental projects to the nation too. His photos went viral soon after and people began to search about Lakshadweep, making it the most searched word on Google in India. Joining us on the broadcast to discuss this is a special guest. We have Dominic, founder GCH Earth, live with us. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being with us today. How do you view the traction that Lakshadweep has got recently after the Prime Minister's visit?
See, I see Lakshadweep and PM visit. I think it's fortuitous that this has happened. It's in fact an endorsement of the model that Lakshadweep has followed of putting environment, community, and equal focus with industry. What I'm trying to say is that the PM's the visuals, you will see him enjoying this beach, going snorkeling, and then seeing the underwater. All this is focusing on what is the real asset and wealth of the Lakshadweep, which is natural. And therefore the need that they have to be preserved and protected at any cost. And he's opening up a small window of the opportunities that the natural resources of Lakshadweep have in terms of attracting visitors.
Do you think the potential of Lakshadweep as a tourist destination has truly been realized, Jose?
We, as an enterprise, went to the Lakshadweep in the year 1988. We ran the hotel there, which we call the Bangaram Island Resort, from 1988 for 22 years, till 2010. And we saw and realized a model which I would say, we embarked upon. We're putting environment first, community next, and customer thereafter. Why I say this is that such fragile destinations require to be very carefully protected and preserved, and that's what I see the potential of Lakshadweep is. It should remain as attractive tomorrow as it is today.
Right. Now, you've run a successful, sustainable resort in Bangaram, Lakshadweep. What are the prerequisites of running a hotel there?
In going back to year 1988, when we ran the resort there, we discovered that in fact, some what I would call it, some mantras, you may call that, as use that word, that less is more. In fact, the hotel that we ran there, which the advertised facilities was the absence of telephone, television, newspaper, air conditioning, multi-cuisine restaurants, swimming pool were all absent. And instead present was nature in its most pristine form, and then we also said the means to enjoy nature, but without causing any diminishment to nature. This was the formula that we created for Lakshadweep, and put it at a price point which says that this is the ultimate luxury that you can ever hope to achieve. Luxury is not the built ostentation, but it is nature pristine. That's a new definition that we had. And people came there, paying initially paying what today we may call, when we ran the hotel, we started with a tariff of US dollars 180 in 1988. And over the years that we ran it from 1988 to 2009 or 10, it then moved to 550 US dollars. So making it was not an inexpensive place, but people came there not despite the absence of facility, but because of those absence of facility. So there is a customer there who appreciates and values nature and appreciates and values that tourism has a responsibility to nature and the environment and the planet, and tourism has a responsibility to create livelihoods to the local communities who live there.
Right. Now, how can hotels, in your opinion, ensure sustainable tourism in Lakshadweep?
Sustainable, and when you say sustainable, it's keeping, the word sustainability has many implications. It's a lot of practices of saying all your activity should not in any way reduce or be consumptive of the environment, to keep the land as attractive as it was. And when you say the word tourism, it must be attractive and enjoyable to the modern citizen, the global traveler. So both of these have to happen together. And how this can be achieved, I think the pristine nature of the island makes such achievement almost effortless. It's almost automatic. No one who will visit the island would even think of being party to any spoilage or diminishment of the island.
Right.
But at the same time, one must have come there with an attitude that you are traveling to the Lakshadweep, to a destination which is rare, which is preserved, which is a miracle of nature.
Yes. Also, I'd like to ask you how the government, then can help hotels set up infrastructure in Lakshadweep.
I think government's role, first and foremost, is to be the safeguard. That's important. And again, I will go back to what happened in 1988. It was as a result of the then Prime Minister whose visit, they decided that the island of Bangaram, which was operated by the government hotel, was decided to be privatized. And the result that followed was a resort called the Bangaram Island Resort, which is operated by, now we call ourselves CGH. Before that, it was Casino Group Hotels. And the government's role was to prescribe certain regulatory mandates. One, fixed carrying capacity. And I think that's an important role. Scientific study on how much can the land bear without causing any diminution to it. Then, of course, along with that, the support side came in terms of making available the transportation infrastructure. Of course, the airport in Lagati got developed. In fact, the opening of the resort and the opening of the airport coincided. But thereafter, a purpose was that tourism should become a provider of, it should be harmed. It must achieve and benefit and endorse and include the local community. And that is also achieved by government insisting on local employment, use of local products.
Do you believe, Jose, that Lakshadweep can give Maldives competition as well? That's also a debate now that has erupted in the country.
It's an interesting question that you put, comparing Lakshadweep as a model and the Maldives as another model. We are neighboring destinations. The Maldives, the only difference between the two is, while the Maldives has about 1,200 islands, Lakshadweep has got 35, out of which just 10 are habited and a few uninhabited. Bangaram Island itself at that time was uninhabited. Now it is, in the census, it has got a few habitants. Now in the Maldives, the route of development was they've created, the international brands came and bid for the islands, created luxury as measured in a different formula. Water bungalows in the lagoons, operated by foreign brands, and of course it was able, the unique nature was able to bring in international travelers, and the Maldives have got a very well connected international airport too.
Yes.
Lakshadweep, on the other hand, in big contrast, had a tiny group of the Lakshadweep archipelago is a tiny group of islands, few of them, small airport connected to Kochi currently by ATR. So the size of development it's a small size development. There's few hotels that can come there in the Lakshadweep. So how could that be in comparison? In a way, I would think that in the Lakshadweep, in the Maldives, they have nothing else except it used to be fishing and now tourism as an economic tool for development. As far as Lakshadweep is concerned, it's part of India. It's a very, very tiny part of India. India does not, while in Lakshadweep, Maldives needs tourism and for their growth and success. Lakshadweep does not need tourism. India does not need tourism for its growth. But the territory of Lakshadweep, the tiny territory of Lakshadweep does it. So on a national front, India's approach to Lakshadweep should be to protect, preserve its uniqueness and its pristineness.
But many are asking, why has it taken the Prime Minister's visit for business to, see the potential of Lakshadweep as a tourist destination?
The Prime Minister has now identified tourism as one of the bedrocks for India's development. And rightly so. Creating jobs, creating livelihoods, creating entrepreneurship, especially in the far corners of India. To create jobs in mainland cities is one thing. But jobs where they need it most is something else. So be it in the Himalayas, in the high reaches of the Himalayas, in the border states of Himalayas, or in the ocean islands like the Lakshadweep, PM's visit now comes at a time in which the Lakshadweep development, which happened, began in 1988 when they converted this island of Bangaram into an international resort, which we ran for lease period for 22 years. Thereafter, at that time, it was decided that from government-run hotel, it made a private resort for private development. After lease period, it has gone back into government-run. I am a firm believer that it is not business of government to be in business, least of all in the hospitality business. We have seen that is what this government also has done. They have sold off the ITDC. They've all been privatized. There's more things government can do. So in that way, I think the signal that the Prime Minister gives is that bring development options, bring development tools such as tourism to these faraway, spectacularly beautiful islands.
What are the key points, Jose, that must be kept in mind according to you to set up hotels in Lakshadweep?
The hotel that's situated in Lakshadweep should always remain uniquely and unashamedly Lakshadweepian. You cannot import another and put it here. There's no reason the reason to be here is to be on the island of the Lakshadweep, to enjoy and experience Lakshadweep, its land and nature, its culture, its food. So, I mean, I think these would be strong elements and a great, wonderful opportunity to take that route, even in modern times, is possible. And that would make such hotels, they cannot go obsolete at all. It's not based on any fad or fashion. It's ageless. And at the same time, it's the word I would think is it's in harmony, ecological, cultural, and economic harmony.
Right. Now, will direct flights to and from Lakshadweep increase tourism, do you believe, also in the region?
As we go forward, the opening more islands, I think, would be a good thing in the Lakshadweep. Bringing tourism as a development tool to those islands. And then one hopes that small aircraft, you take the Maldives model there, you've got the twin otter seaplanes, which are serving great service there entirely. And all the islands are connected by seaplane and by fast boats. This is something which India could also gain from Agati. We can never have a big airport as big as Lakshadweep, as the Maldives has. There's no necessity. We've got few islands. Agati Island has ATRs, perhaps. Being too big aircraft will also becomes a big load of capacity. Mm-hmm. So similar size aircraft, and then distributing people who arrive to Lakshadweep to the other islands by seaplane will be a good route to achieve. And they too could get commercially viable. And a hotel in Minicoy, Kadmat, and many more islands which are there. And in the Maldives, they have exclusive resort islands. And the Lakshadweep, I don't think that route is necessary. You can, like everywhere in India, tourism can coexist with local communities living there.
Final question to you, Jose. Does CGH Earth Hotels plan on opening hotels and resorts once again in Lakshadweep?
I'm sure CGH Earth is looking at the options available.
Okay.
Looking at the opportunity available, and to go into Lakshadweep. I don't know whether I hear from looking at the newspapers, the two islands that are now being opened up, which have been put on bid process. I hear that the Indian hotel company has won the bid and they will be opening them up. Mm-hmm. What will happen? When new opportunities are there, we wait and see. I'm sure CGH Church will not be blind to any such opportunity that may exist. We have an old tradition. We have a big learning. In fact, CGH Church is a creation by Lakshadweep. Our Bangaram venture is what created the new approach in travel and tourism, a new approach to preservation of our own creating core values. CGH Earth, the word Earth.
Okay. Well, let's leave it at that. Jose Dominic, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on that.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.